you haven't watched part 1 of my top 30 strongest characters in One Piece currently, then I suggest you go watch that and then come back to this video. After my number 18, you can pretty much tell who's next, right? Well, if you haven't figured it out by now, then my number 17 is the next Pirate King, Monkey D. Luffy. Do I really need to explain why Luffy is after Katakuri? Well, if you haven't watched part 1 of this video, then I suggest that you do and then come back. Luffy is not just one of the best MCs of this generation, but he is also one of the best allies to have. Luffy is someone that will go to hell and back for you if you're one of his friends. We've seen this in Enos Lobby, Impel Down, Marineford, Arlong Park. Like, the man has no fear when it comes to the homies. He was a level 10 competing with level 50 and higher on Marineford. Luffy's strength just keeps getting stronger and stronger as the story progresses, which makes sense because he's the main protagonist. So anyway, he's able to use Conqueror's Haki while unconscious, which is something we haven't seen anyone else do in the story. And according to Kaido, manga spoilers for any anime onlys, you would have probably, depending on when this video drops, you probably would have known this by now. But since somebody decided to hack Toei Animation right when the good stuff was about to happen, they delayed the anime. But according to Kaido, he's already comparing Luffy in terms of strength or potential to the likes of Oden, Shanks, Whitebeard, Roger, and Rocks. 4 out of 5 of these people are the strongest characters in the series. So for Kaido, who is a Yonko and is considered the strongest character in the story at the moment, to put Luffy up on that Mount Rushmore is crazy enough alone. Luffy has a mastering of all 3 versions of Haki and is slowly mastering the advanced versions of them in Wano. Luffy has been teased to be so many characters, from Joy Boy to Roger and Shanks, so it would make sense for him to at least be close to their strength. And depending on how the final battle between Kaido and Luffy goes, he might get a higher ranking. But that can be said about any other characters that's in this arc at the moment. I think it's funny that despite all of the people Luffy has fought, only 2, possibly 3 people should have beaten him. And those 3 are Crocodile, Doflamingo, Katakuri, and everybody at Marineford. The next one might be a shocker for some people, but I don't think it is. So for my number 16, it is Kozuki Oden, the man who was on Whitebeard and Gold D. Rogers' crew. Oden is one of those characters that easily could have dominated the next pirate era alongside Luffy and the others in the show. Despite being able to read poneglyphs, his potential was crazy. He had a mastering of all Hakis as well, which at this point is a requirement in Wano. He Haki clashed with Gold D. Roger and Whitebeard, and the most important feat is that he's the only person in the story to actually hurt Kaido and give Kaido PTSD every single time he encounters a worthy swordsman. He's the only person that was able to wield and master 2 of the great swords that fatally wounded Kaido, which are Emma and the Ame no Habakiri. Now, judging from what we saw from him during his run, despite being a second commander for Whitebeard, he possibly could have been a Yonko in the future. For the top 15, we're going to start off with the blind legend himself, Fujitora, the first admiral to appear on the top 30 list. The reason I have him at 15 is because we haven't seen much of him lately, but he's still formidable. Now, all of the admirals are complete hacks, but Fujitora really takes the cake when it comes to that. He's able to drop planetary meteors on you whenever he feels like it. Now imagine fighting a blind swordsman and then all of a sudden he puts his sword away, starts walking off because he dropped a meteor on you. Doflamingo has even said that him and the Green Bull are considered powerful monsters of the Marines. But don't let his calm demeanor and lack of vision fool you, because he is definitely a problem. Besides Aokiji, he's one of the good ones when it comes to the world government and the Marines. He was actually the first one to call for the abolishment of the Marines. Oh, I said of the Marines. He was the first one to call for the abolishment of the warlords. Now, my number 14 goes to the baddest MILF in the game, Charlotte, aka Big Mom. Big Mama. Fujitora was the first admiral on the list. Now Big Mom is the first Yonko on the list. I know some people might not agree with this because she's a Yonko and is considered one of the strongest characters in the show, but she ain't strong enough. Big Mom to me is one of those characters that seems like a major problem if you don't take her serious. She's a walking hack, to be honest, because she really doesn't need Haki to beat you on certain occasions. Big Mom can suck the soul out of you, and not in a good way. Big Mom clashed with Kaido for 3 days straight, and they both were evenly matched. Now for you manga readers, spoilers for anime owners. I'm not gonna say he was in the fight or nothing, but for you manga readers that think Big Mom lost that fight, well, I gotta tell you something. Don't. Look who made the list and look who didn't. Let alone look at the positioning of the characters involved in that fight. Just think about that. Now, I would put Big Mom over Kaido, but y'all not ready for that discussion yet. Now for my next one is someone that I am excited to talk about. He's a man of mystery and someone who is very powerful yet questionable among fans. The world's greatest swordsman and the drip god himself, Mihawk, aka Hawkeye. Mihawk is by far one of the dopest characters in the story. He rides around on a toddler boat slashing ships in half. Mihawk is solidified but kind of questionable when it comes to how strong he is, because he's fought Shanks multiple times and it's obvious that Shanks has beaten him. So for someone with the label as world's strongest swordsman to hang around a Yonko shows just how strong him and Shanks are. All Mihawk wants to do is fight the strongest characters in the sea whenever he's given the opportunity. We saw him shaking in excitement when he attempted to attack Whitebeard during Marineford, or when all the Marines pulled up on him to try and capture him alive after the abolishment of the warlords. And he said he hasn't felt this excited in a long time. With him seeing Zoro as his next successor of the title of World's Strongest Swordsman, who knows how far he has to go before even being worthy of that. My number 12 goes to the man that is chill but dangerous and is so strong that they had to make him a stoner. The only remaining member of the big three admirals, Kizaru. I know what I said about Fujitora being a hack, but this man right here is a real hack. He moves faster than light and can demolish almost anyone he comes across. Ever since his introduction in Sabaody, I've never doubted his strength or his feats, no matter how strong certain characters in the show are. Besides riding on a freaking cannonball, he washed all of the supernovas and the Straw Hats. My favorite feat from this man that made me never doubt him again was him kicking X-Drake. Like, he was done so bad that they replayed the kick 6 times from 6 different angles. Like this was Dragon Ball Super when Goku hit Kefla with the riding Kamehameha. Just like that. Till this day, that is the most disrespectful thing to happen in One Piece. When he said he was ready to pull up on Kaido and Big Mom in Wano after hearing about their alliance, I was shook, because to the One Piece community, an admiral fighting a Yonko is enough, but an admiral fighting 2 is too much for them to handle. Now my take on this is, Oda wouldn't have put that line in there if he didn't believe Kizaru couldn't have handled him. Like, people need to stop downplaying Kizaru just because of Ben Beckman pulling the blicky out on him, and people thinking that other characters are faster than him. Because, to be honest, I don't really see it. Kizaru's light. I don't see people being faster than that. That's just my honest opinion. Now, this next person is a cold character, and just like Kizaru, he's extremely OP. The man that'll leave you with a cold, cold heart. Aokiji. Now, Aokiji is literally the coldest character in One Piece. If we want to keep it a buck, he's planetary as well. We don't know the extent of his ice powers. For all we know, he could turn the whole damn planet into a gigantic snow globe. He's definitely a character that you don't want on your bad side. He fought Akainu for 10 days straight with no breaks and changed the landscape of Punk Hazard. Doflamingo wanted no smoke with him when he pulled up in Punk Hazard, because in an instant he froze him and almost half of Punk Hazard in that split second. He already has his Devil Fruit awakened and is still on some important mission that we don't know about. But you know what I love? You know what I love about most of the OP characters in this show? It's the fact that we've never seen them use any form of haki, but it's been hinted that they have it. Like, all of the pirates are using armament, observation, and conqueror's haki, fighting for their lives. Meanwhile, the Marines are just being badasses and only being teased to know the basics of haki. This next one is a controversial one, but it had to be done. The first round draft pick for the number 10 spot of strongest characters in One Piece is the King of the Beast, Kaido. Kaido is considered the strongest character currently in the story and in Wano. He's tried to kill himself multiple times and has fallen off of multiple sky islands. In rain, sleet, or snow, heaven or hell, earth, wind, and fire, land, sky, or sea, always bet on Kaido. That is what we have been told since Punk Hazard. We've heard this numerous times. Never bet against Kaido. Never. Like, no circumstances. Kaido will always win no matter what. Like, just the fact that this has been stated since Punk Hazard, and so far he hasn't been proven wrong yet. But why is he top 10 instead of top 5? Well, I'll tell you why. Because he ain't really built like that. Kaido is raw, don't get me wrong, but he still hasn't impressed me yet. Like, yeah, I know it's weird. The man has been getting beaten on since the beginning of the fight on the rooftop and hasn't been severely injured since Odin. He's practically a dragon sponge taking all this damage. But I can't deny his feats because he one-shotted Luffy after getting attacked by him. Not to mention his hybrid form always allows him to be more dangerous than he already is. But once Wano ends, Kaido might get looked at differently. Like, Kaido, I don't know. I think to be honest, I think it has more to do with how hyped Kaido was. Like, Kaido has one of the rawest introductions in One Piece besides Kizaru and Shanks on Marineford. Like, this man was hyped to the fullest. The hype for this man was crazy. So when we finally get to see him in action, it wasn't to me comparable as it wasn't comparable to me as it was with other certain characters that we've been introduced to in the story, like Doflamingo and Kainu and Blackbeard. I hate Blackbeard, but still he had a good introduction. So, you know, seeing all these other characters we've been introduced to and hyped up about, or built up towards, and not hype wouldn't be the right word, built up towards, Kaido didn't really reach that same standard as them. So I'm still like judging the character, to be honest. I mean, he's good. He's a good villain and all that stuff. He's just not wowing me, I should say. But Kaido, I probably just have to wait till the end of Wano just to see like how I fully feel about his character. That's just my opinion. If you think Kaido is stronger than being at 10, let me know in the comments. This next person is someone I don't really like, but I can't deny the strength that he has right now. Number 9 is the bum himself, Blackbeard, aka Marshall D. Teach. If you watch my Blackbeard video, then you know how much I hate Kanye. If you watch my Blackbeard video, then you know how much I hate this nigga with a passion. Blackbeard was already strong before acquiring a Devil Fruit, but now he's even more dangerous than he already was. He has a devil fruit that nullifies all devil fruit abilities in contact with him. This strange ability somehow allowed him to take Whitebeard's devil fruit, which is considered the strongest devil fruit in the show, which in turn gives him the ability to have two of the most OP devil fruits at the same time. Blackbeard is the first person to do this, since it's been stated that you'll die if you try to have two devil fruits at once, which goes to show how strong he is. Even during the Odin and Whitebeard flashbacks, Blackbeard stayed up for 3 days straight without sleep, just ready. Like, even Shanks and Buggy noticed that he might be a problem. Even Shanks noticed it as a kid that this nigga might be a problem, and then years later, he's saying it again. He's saying it again that Blackbeard is still a problem. Also, he's the only person besides the Sea King to permanently scar Shanks, and he quote unquote defeated Ace and Whitebeard, but we know he's trash. If Oda somehow lets him get a third devil fruit, I'm willing to put Blackbeard at the number 1 spot in the future. My number 8 goes to the Mad Dog himself, the current fleet admiral and seeker of true justice, Akainu. Akainu is hands down one of the most dangerous and rawest characters in One Piece. Not only does he have a magma devil fruit that can literally burn anyone and anything that comes across his path, but what really makes him dangerous is his willpower and drive when it comes to his form of justice. He was practically unstoppable in Marineford when he was trying to kill Ace, Luffy, and Whitebeard. Nobody could stop him during his warpath besides Shanks and Garp. Though it hasn't been stated, but we know that he and a lot of other characters in Marineford have an understanding of Haki, considering that most of them were able to withstand Luffy's weak Conqueror's Haki, and that they were clashing with one another. After killing Ace and Whitebeard, that should have solidified how strong he is. But during the post-time skip, he fought Aokiji for 10 days straight on Punk Hazard, and also changed the landscape of the island. Oda had to just throw a little more spice into the mix by saying if Akainu was the protagonist of One Piece, he would have finished the story in a year. Now, when you think about that statement, you can't help but question if he would still be able to accomplish that feat with the current power scaling in One Piece right now. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Now, I know some people would consider Akainu and Aokiji as equals, just like Luffy and Katakuri, considering that they fought for 10 days straight, but the reason I have him higher than the other is simply because of him being able to finish the story in a year. For my number 7, it belongs to a man of mystery and a man that we have not seen fight once, but his hype is ridiculous. The leader of the Revolutionary Army, Monkey D. Dragon. Dragon is considered the biggest threat to the world government, but not because of his strength. It mostly has to do with what he's doing in One Piece, at least for now. But you gotta think about it. He has to be relatively strong, considering he has people like Ivankov, Bartholomew, Sabu, and other strong characters following his lead. There's another powerful character we haven't seen fight, but had extremely powerful characters following him. If you know, then you know. It has been speculated that he has a wind type or a weather type devil fruit, considering every time he's appeared in the show, it has both rained and was extremely windy. Whenever we finally see Dragon fight, it will break the internet. This next person doesn't really need an introduction because of how hyped he is. My number 6 goes to the pistol god himself, Ben Beckman. For those who might be questioning this decision, according to the One Piece data book, Ben Beckman has been stated to be Yonko level and even as strong as Shanks. Beckman is so strong that people of the New World fear of his existence. When this news broke out, it was almost pandemonium. But I should have known better since he had Kizaru, the man who moves faster than light, scared stiff with just a pistol. Like, what the hell, man? Like, they got this man moving like Freddy Krueger and Candyman in the grand line, bruh. Like, I, for one, cannot wait for him to finally fight somebody. Like, I seriously cannot wait. I hope we see it in the One Piece movie. Now, this man right here is a certified GOAT. When he shows up in the story, it's nothing but hype and curiosity. You can say that he's responsible for the story of One Piece, and I'm not talking about Oda or Roger. I'm talking about the mother-freaking GOAT, red-haired Shanks. As you can see, that Shanks and Ben Beckman are right next to each other, because they are like the sun and the moon, yin and yang. Each have opposite personalities, but when combined, they are unstoppable. Shanks is hands down my favorite character in One Piece besides Zoro. It's always a good time when he appears in the story. We haven't really seen Shanks fight either, but we do know that he is a Yonko and possesses Conqueror's Haki. Not to mention that Kaido has Shanks in his top 5 list of people that can beat him. He was a member of Gold Roger's crew, fought Mihawk multiple times, Haki clashed with Whitebeard and cracked the sky, and stopped the war, which is a pretty amazing feat, considering what was going on during that arc. But the most important thing was before stopping the war, he stopped Kaido from interfering with Marineford. And by stop, I mean he put hands on him, because he pulled up without a single scratch on him. Until Oda says otherwise, I'm sticking with Shanks fought Kaido before arriving at Marineford. Shanks and his crew are the most well-balanced crew in One Piece. So that means that you're not walking into a one-sided battle, but you're walking into a fight for your life. Even Blackbeard said he was not ready to fight Shanks, despite acquiring Whitebeard's Devil Fruit. I hope that in One Piece Red movie, we finally see him, we finally see him and his crew fight, because I'm ready to see my boy put in work and show everybody why he's highly respected and praised. Number 4 belongs to a real man. He's possibly the greatest and rawest old man in anime history. Everybody's favorite dad, Whitebeard. Whitebeard has the label of the world's strongest man, and he rightfully earned that title. Possessing the Tremor Devil Fruit, which allowed him to shake the earth, he literally had the fate of the world on his shoulders. I wonder if his Devil Fruit was awakened. Like, if it wasn't, then I believe that he possibly could shake the entire earth if possible, because even Sengoku has said that Whitebeard has the powers to possibly destroy the world. And that's if his Devil Fruit wasn't awakened in Marineford. Because he became a Yonko and had the best crew. He was a part of the most dangerous pirate group in history, the Rocks Pirates. But even while a part of the group, he was still the same Whitebeard that we know today. He was practically the second strongest person during the Great Pirate Era, and still was the strongest in his death. Whitebeard was so feared that he even had his own motto, which was "Don't mess with the Whitebeard pirates, or Whitebeard will come after you." We don't really need to go into how strong he is, considering we have all the proof we need. He fought Roger multiple times, fought Garp multiple times. They both cracked the sky during each encounter, which I might add is probably one of the greatest fluxes in anime besides the opening and closing your sword trope. He was practically a one-man army in Marineford. He was stabbed 267 times, shot 152 times, received 46 cannonballs, got a hole in his chest and half of his face blown off, and didn't receive a single injury on his back, because scars on the back are a swordsman's shame. He had all of these injuries and still could have ended everybody at Marineford, even while he was dying there standing. Whitebeard is easily the most powerful person on this list and will be missed. Rhyming accidentally. The number 3 draft pick for top 30 strongest characters in One Piece goes to Rox D. Zebek, the leader of the Rox Pirates. Now Rox had to have been considerably strong, considering he had the likes of Shiki, Big Mom, Kaido, Whitebeard, John, Silver Age, and Ochoku following him. Rox went after the Celestial Dragons on God Valley and thus creating Garp, the hero of the Marines. This battle was so legendary that the entire island of God Valley was wiped completely off the map and Rox's name being erased from history as well. Now people speculate that he died and was reincarnated as Dragon, considering they both look similar and that they both waged war on the Celestials. Others think that Blackbeard is his son because he has Rox's ship, and the same for Shanks being his son as well. I hope that we get more information about this character and how strong he truly was. Number 2 is the Pirate King himself, Gold D. Roger. This man is the Michael Jordan of the pirate era. He started everything and shaped the story into what it is today. Roger had everybody in check during his run. Fighting Garp, Sengoku, Rox, Shiki, basically every person that was a heavy hitter and is considered one of the greatest characters in the pirate era. Like, we know he had a mastering of all haki, considering he was the Pirate King. I would really love to see a spinoff or at least an anime special dedicated to Gold D. Roger and the Great Pirate Era. My number 1 belongs to someone who might be the biggest threat in the story and to everyone in One Piece. My number 1 is... Now hold up one second. I have some groundbreaking news. Straw Hat Luffy was not placed correctly on this list. I have reasons to believe that Luffy is much stronger than I thought he was when this video was made. So Luffy has earned the right to switch places with one character on this list. The choice is yours in the comments below. So here's your suggestions. Type 1 for Fujitora, Type 2 for Big Mom, Type 3 for Mihawk, Type 4 for Kizaru, or Type 5 for Aokiji. Thank you for your time. Now let the drums of liberation continue beating as you leave a like and comment on the video. M-sama. M-sama is someone that was introduced in the Reverie arc as the Gorosei was getting ready to commence the next cleansing. Now I have a theory that M-sama is the person that is responsible for not only God Valley being erased completely off the map, but also Rox and Joy Boy as well. M-sama could be the dark side or Thanos of the Grand Line, and we don't know it yet. Speaking of the Gorosei, it seems that Luffy's Devil Fruit is a lot more special than we thought it was. If you know, you know. There's not much to say about his character, but I believe he will be making a big return in the story at the end of Wano probably. And that concludes my top 30 strongest characters currently in One Piece. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I did. If you think there's characters that I missed, let me know in the comments. I almost forgot to mention this, but Enel should probably, most definitely, should have been on this list because he was a serious problem. He had observation haki, had a thunder and lightning devil fruit, could literally strike down anyone from the heavens if they were planning to harm him. So basically he's just like God. But the problem was, he came across the wrong person. He came across somebody that has a rubber devil fruit. So that literally was his kryptonite. So bad luck for him. Anyway, thank you for watching the video. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You know, all that good stuff. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the Grand Line.